Okay, so here we are again to talk about Highlander. So everything's been a little bit up in the air since the end of last year because things were really picking up steam. We were getting regular casting announcements and we were getting ready to go. And then obviously in September we got the news that Henry Cavill sustained the injury, delayed filming, so we weren't sure what was going to happen. And anyway, things quietened off, although we were still getting casting announcements. And then we had the interview that Dave Bautista did with Collider, where he said filming is set to begin for Highlander on the 28th of November. And that was like, oh, because we were thinking, oh, we were going to have to wait till 2026 for filming. But okay, 28th of November. And that comes 28th of November comes around, but we don't hear anything, we don't see anything, any kind of confirmation, so we're left a bit up in the air as what's going on, and that's kind of the rest of how the rest of the year came around. But then today rolls around, and it's all things Henry Cavill. So the morning starts off with the announcement about In the Grey. That finally gets a release date, 10th of April, worldwide release. Brilliant. So that was a great way to start the morning. Then a few hours later, we get some posts on X speculating that, oh, there's filming going on in London for Highlander. So it's filming today, filming tonight, and it's like, oh, right. And then, about an hour or so after that, we get a post from Henry Cavill himself on Instagram and Facebook sharing two first look images in a little caption, enjoy your first look at how happy first look at Highlander. And it's like, well, it doesn't get more official than that. So now we know it's real. It's finally happening. The speculation can cease. It's happening now. Of course, we've still got questions of, well, how long's it been going on for? I mean, I would say, the fact that we got these first look images today, I'm going to be optimistic and say they haven't just started. I'm going to say that there's credibility to what Batista, still going along with what Batista was saying about 28th of November, although that might have been like smaller scale stuff and kind of a lot of stuff like on sound stages and in the studio. Also, one thing I did find interesting is that we had the premiere for Batista's latest film, The Wrecking Crew, also an Amazon production. Now, of course, we had a premiere in New York, which Batista was not there for. And then we had, following that, the London premiere, which Dave Batista was at. And obviously, Highlander filming in London. So I think filming's been going on at least for a little bit. And I think evidenced by, Batista's presence in London. Now, obviously, I don't think we're well into filming. Like, I think it's safe to say Russell Crowe hasn't filmed anything yet. Karen Gillan hasn't filmed anything yet. Now, if this film is comparable to what the original was, safe to say that Karen Gillan and Russell Crowe will be filming their scenes at the same time. But yeah, I think we're getting into obviously filming's well underway now and doing on location stuff now as well, so it's really picked up the pace. Of course, filming in London, and then there was the article from the Herald that came out recently about filming in, imagine that, filming in the Scottish Highlands. I think they specifically mentioned Glencoe, that where they're going to be filming, so said that's going to be from April. So that might be when we're getting Russell Crowe, Karen Gillan, of course, Drew McIntyre, he's going to be in the flashbacks as Angus MacLeod, so that's probably when he'll be doing his thing in April. But yeah, but that's as far as the speculation goes. Filming could have been going on since the 28th of November. Who knows? But this is where we are now. We know we're definitely in production now. Let's look at what we know. Let's put an end to the speculation. Let's look at what we know for definite. So get this wonderful post from Henry Cavill today. Two fantastic pictures. One of them in particular, we're in kind of like a Buddhist temple. There's a statue of the Buddha. We've got these lanterns. Now, of course, when they were talking about, it was a while ago now, but talking about where they were going to be filming, of course, I mentioned London and Scotland, but they did specifically mention Hong Kong. And of course, that's what we've got, some of that flavour here in one of the images. Chad Stahelski, of course, we can see that he's always welcoming that Eastern Asian influence into his films. Of course, in John Wick 3, we have the presence of Mark Dacascos, his character, and of course he's accompanied by our two guys from the Raid. So there's a bit of that Eastern flavour there. And then, of course, in John Wick 4, we get full-fledged Japanese influence. We spend a good chunk of the film in Japan, in Osaka. And then, of course, you've still got the Hong Kong influence with good old Donnie Yen there. So, and then we know Chad Stahelski goes way back with Yuen Wu Ping. So there's always been that Eastern influence for Chad Stahelski, and I'm glad he's bringing that, incorporating that into this. I mean, even as far as the Highlander stuff goes, in Highlander 3, we spend time in Japan. We go and see Nakano, the sorcerer. And it's hopefully, we'll get a lot of that here. Of course, we know we're getting Max Zhang in this. I love Max Zhang. So it's going to be great to see him in this as well. Again, he's someone else. I don't know if he's filmed scenes yet, because there's a lot of stuff. If they've been filming in sound stages and in studio, there's a lot of stuff they could have done. Same with that Korean actress who was signed. Now, of course, she's been going back and forth between London and Korea. Because she recently had a new film with Han So-hee. Is it Project Y? So she's been doing like press and publicity for that. So she's been going back and forth. I know she said she's been doing obviously rehearsals, table reads, all of that like pre-production stuff. But it may be that she has shot things here and there. But almost certainly now everything's getting into full flow. Now we're going to be getting, same with the likes of Jaimin Honsu and Jeremy Irons as well. It's only a matter of time before they're coming in to film their stuff. But one of the things, because obviously, it's been a long time coming, this project, and a lot of stopping and starting. One of the benefits is they've had time to refine things and really, clarify what they want to do and how they want to do it. So it may be that they can just go right into this, hit the ground running, and just literally, like military precision, like yeah, because again, it's a weird comparison to make, but of course John Carpenter, when he did the 78 Halloween, now of course he had almost no money, so it was kind of, the lack of money and time and resources that necessitated this, but he had a very clear, idea, very clear view of what he wanted to go in and shoot, no more, no less. Going to go in there, shoot this, move on. So again, there could be an element of that here, but by virtue of the fact that they've had time to refine it and and really decide on what they want to do rather than, we're going to play with different ideas and then maybe even come back down the line. And it's like, no, we're in a position now where we've thought about it, we've better thought about it, we know what we're doing. So it could be a blessing in disguise. Um, but I'm just so happy to know that it it finally feels real. We've got these official first look images, both fantastic. So we've got this one of Cavill in like the Buddhist temple, and then we've got the other picture, and it's him in more of like you know, a Western. It's in a church basically. So you've got the two different elements, I suppose. You've got the Buddhist temple, you've got the Christian church. Um, it's interesting. It's really interesting. And again, it kind of, the fact that we're going to be getting into that globe trotting element as well. This is a guy who's been around for 500 years. He's travelled the world, and all of the different immortals that we're going to run into. And again, the cast that they've got, the fact that we've got well, I'm almost certain Jaimin Honsu's playing Castigear, but then you've got Max Jang, and then of course, again, I'm sorry, just keep referring to her as the Korean actress. She was in that film Ballerina that was, I think, was it on Netflix or Amazon Prime, the Korean film? Very, very good in that, so I'm excited to see what she's going to do in this. But yeah, I think we're going to have a real interesting cast of characters here. I mean, what Chad Stahelski did with the John Wick films, he gave us so many cool, interesting characters. I mean, we mentioned Hiroyuki Sanada, Donnie Yen, Mark Dacascos, our guys from the Raid, and so on. All of these real cool characters that they played in those films. And again, if we can continue in that same vein in this film, like I've said before and I'll say it again, I really believe we're not ready. We're not ready for what this film's gonna be. It's gonna be a delight. I'm just so excited to know that it's happening. And again, in terms of Cavill's look, you know, we've still got the long coat. I mean, by the looks of it, it's a departure from the trench coat, which is fair enough. Obviously, what they've gone for here, it's more of like a leather coat. It's got like a fur collar by the looks of it. Um, that's cool. Hey, it works. But then it looks as though he's still got the two looks. Like he's got the long coat and then he's still got the leather jacket, which I like. Because even in Highlander, Lambert's Connor MacLeod, of course, he had the trench coat, but then he also had that really cool brown leather jacket that he wears as well. I mean, in the final fight with the Kurgan at the end of the film, that's what he wears. He wears the brown leather jacket, he ditches the trench coat. So it's nice, kind of, that we get the two looks. I might be going off. This is me going out on a limb here because it's a wide shot and you only see the katana in the silhouette, but in the other image where he's in like the more like anglicised Christian church, obviously he's got the katana with him. I don't know, man, because it's all in shadow, but I was looking and it looks like it's got, you know, that dragon head on the handle. Again, I love the design of the Ramirez katana in the original film. I think that is the coolest sword in film history, right? And the design on the original Ramirez one with the dragon head, it's fantastic, man. Now, obviously, a lot of people like Duncan MacLeod. Again, I don't. I'm a Connor MacLeod purist. I'll admit it. But a lot of people like Duncan MacLeod. But I'll always say Duncan MacLeod's katana, the design on that one, always paled. It paled in comparison to the Ramirez katana, and I'm just saying again. It kind of looked by the outline. Now, obviously, it's very difficult to see, but maybe I hope they've kept the original design for it, man. That'd be here's hoping. Yeah, because it is awesome. But I love again, just so excited that it's finally happening. Yeah, just so incredible. And I've been chomping at the bit. Can we get some news? Can we get some news? And here it comes, baby. But so happy with this again. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. I feel like handing out cigars, man. I gotta be honest. But yeah, lots to be excited for. Thank you for listening to me yammer on about it. And again, please feel free to share your thoughts. And again, if you haven't seen Henry Cavill's post, go check it out. They're really cool photos. And I just hope that the dam's gonna break now. Open the floodgates. I want Batista to start posting stuff. I want when Karen Gillan gets there. Apparently, she commented on Cavill's post as well. So, our girl Karen Gillan, she's representing, man. I know obviously Drew McIntyre's got a good social media presence when he gets there. And obviously Russell Crowe's very much like that as well. As soon as he gets there, just give it to us. Yeah, every day now it's gonna be a wild ride. Let's buckle up. It's gonna be fun, and we're gonna be there with bells on again. As soon as we get a release date, I'm booking it in. I'm gonna be there at the first showing. It's gonna be like a religious experience, but there's a lot to be excited for. So it's finally happening. And again, let's get excited. But thank you for listening to me go on. We're nearly 20 minutes in. Hope you've enjoyed it and you've got at least something out of this. And again, please feel free to share your thoughts, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Hopefully soon with more Highlander news. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.